She instinctively grabbed hold of a kitchen knife and pushed on, aiming the shadow that was wiggling on top of her bed, trying to get free from her old webby mosquito net. He saw her coming toward him and made a tiny, squirky, beggarly voice. Voice contained his entire soul frozen into a syllable. No word was uttered. Soul cry for mercy cut through her heart, ripping her apart into soul and body. She could not do it. And if she cries out, that fellow lying there was a dead man. She had to be quick in thoughts. She had to be smart in choices. A crowd of footsteps pounded her vicinity so loud they both heard them saying, "He must be in there. Check the lot. Check on top of the container." The man said, "Let's check inside that container too." She was in panic mood. She pulled off her a wise move, and before the thief could blink, knocking, 5 people pushed open her weak door. The door never ever shuts anyway. No lock has ever been strapped to it. Her usual thought was if any thief will ever come into it for anything, then that thief really needs help. And sure, she was on top of one now. The lock system was an old-fashioned method. Plywood stood on the floor barricading the door, and any strong push was enough to open it. She knew she was living precariously, and that knowledge made her get on her knees daily. No wrong episode ever occurred. The wrong types of guys paraded the streets, but none seemed to take notice of her.
She's lost in a pool of gangs, thugs, womanizers, reapers, and yet none even recognizes her as a woman, and that there was a miracle already. These 5 men came in, 2 holding clubs, 1 a cutlass, the other 2 had stones, and flushed his beam of torchlight on them, both nude and she on top of him. She jolted, faking a surprise, and shouted why, barely trying to cover up. He too, clothless and out of breath, shouted angrily, "What the blip?" 4 men backed off a little, and even out. The 5th one said, "We are looking for a thief and you guys are here blipping yourselves. Get up and help." With those words, he moved out too, as though he was the assemblyman of the area. She stayed on top of him, taking every sensual feeling, and rebuked her lustrous self off quickly. Get off before it gets it offhand. She had cried when her first boyfriend dumped her for a classier, well-dressed girl on campus. It was from him she had her first kiss, and it was a memorable one. Never had she ever come this close to a man, body to body, breathe to breathe. His body scent was even enthralling her. "Wow! Whatever magic God has put in man, it is truly magical," she said briefly beneath her breath, and pulled Mr. Thief off her bed, lit the battery-powered lamp, and collected his clothes for him to wear. He did, while keeping an eye on her. She picked a cup and pours out water from a yellow potty rubber container and handed it to him. He chucked it all in one go, she repeated. He finished the second. She made him sit, and she pulled out her Bible, took hold of his hands, and they started praying. The thief was soaked in tears. No word came out, just completely soaked in tears. He wept and wept. Later on, she laid bundles of clothes on the floor, and Mr. Thief slept like a baby. Part 3 coming soon.